everybody, and welcome back to the HCW show, where we are focusing on the UK Indie Spotlight for show number 4. I had to make sure, I had to catch myself then. But this is show number 4 in the series of reviewing shows that we go to. So this time, my good friend DP here, he attended the Riot Cabaret show. It was called the Grand Slam, and this is show number 2 from the company. So how did you find your experience? So we always tend to speak about it before we review the matches. When you go to sort of a different sort of wrestling community, what was that like?
So yeah, this was the Clapham Grand, which is a venue based in Clapham, and it's, as far as I'm aware, it's a performing arts / theatre /
drama
sort of place. As far as I'm aware, I'm not fully clued in, but as soon as you go in, you can, like, it's very different. There's a lot of lights, as opposed to York Hall, which is very much like no lights, or at least like only ring lights.
Yeah, I was going to say you do it a lot for the boxing as well, where it's not very well lit when you can see the crowds and stuff, but on the ring, it's
So it's very similar to that in a way. But there was a lot of there was a bar like near to the ring as well. It was very peculiar setting. I'm not much of a social bird, so I've not really seen much of this stuff. Like I'm more just a stay at home or go to work and go home sort of person. Only recently got into the habit of going to wrestling shows more often.
Yeah,
and I'm seeing a lot more venues and a lot more places, a lot more faces. So definitely an experience.
Yeah, people enjoying live wrestling again.
Precisely, yeah, exactly. We're all here for one shared purpose.
Yes, exactly. And it sounds like the from the chat we had before we started recording that they put on a good show. So
yeah,
let us start off this review with what I believe was a promo from the owner. Is that right?
Not so much. It was more a welcome to the crowd from the owner, James Lawrence, who, as I just thanks everyone for being here, gauges the crowd, see if it's their first time here or they were there at the first show. Bit of half and half, I'd say.
Yeah.
I'm one of the new faces in the crowd, but half the crowd were there the first time round.
So that could be either like a good thing as well, because they could have just been that half crowd there and they've just doubled.
Yeah, precisely. We get a bit of that, and then he mentioned the main event of the night, which is the Riot Cabaret World Champion Chuck Mambo taking on Dan Maloney. To that extent, he then brings out Dan Maloney to talk about the match, I imagine. So out comes Dan Maloney, and the 0121, he's part of that, have a general theme where they have rap music or grime music, or how you want to refer to it as their theme.
Right.
But he comes out, talks to the crowd, basically just mentions how he's gonna, how Mambo made a mistake choosing him to be the first challenger for the title, and how he's gonna just beat up Mambo and win a title in the main event. This is cut off by Tate Mayfairs, who is another British wrestler who is dubbed as Posh Boy,
right? Because
he's very upper class sort of sound, like very cocky and very young, but he's also very rich.
Yeah.
He comes in and basically says how he has Dan Maloney's number because he pinned him at the first show, which I don't know how true that is, but the crowd confirm for me that it was not true, and they say they make him, and they chant about how he's lying about that. And to end things off, I've written here Maloney nut taps Tate, and then leaves.
Right. Okay.
So this bitch just hits him in the nuts with his fist,
and then leaves.
Yeah. That's before we get into the first match. And James actually mentions as well that there's a fan who's standing behind me in the stalls. So I'm looking up behind me, and I see this guy in an Excalibur mask. So they make mention of that. It's just fun.
Yeah.
I assume he was at the first show, which is why they bring it up. But
Yeah. So he's just like a recognisable face.
yeah.
So this leads into the opening match of the night, which is Man Like Darius and Levi Muir.
That's correct. Now, Frozzy. When I say 0-1, you say 2-1. 0-1.
2-1.
0-1.
2-1.
Thank you. So that is Man Like Darius' thing. He raps to the ring, getting a kind of involved with the 0-1, 2-1 chant, and he's really over with the crowd. I know of him a little bit, but not fully.
I know of him now because he's stealing my IWP.
But he takes on Levi Muir, who is another up and coming talent in the British scene, who I saw at Coliseum Pro actually. So I've got a bit of experience for the guy, and like used to his moveset, whereas this is my first time seeing Darius in general, who I believe is also an up and comer, sort of a fresher face to the wrestling scene. But yeah, we get a bit of trash talk to start this match off. Darius is instantly trying to get fans in the arena, in the venue, to buy his merch. He's like, "Is anyone new here?" And they obviously you get like the half the crowd going like, "Yeah, we're new." Yeah, he goes, "Over in that corner is my merch. Go buy it."
Nice.
But a bit of that, and then get into the actual match stuff. There's a lot of like high paced mat work as well. We get Levi saying multiple times, "No one wants to buy your merch," like constantly, which I thought was quite entertaining personally. So Darius is more high flying focused, whereas Muir is more stronger, with more strength.
Yeah.
Levi hits TKO, which gets a 2 count. Following on from that, we get a few more spots, and Darius wins the match with a powerbomb.
Yeah.
And then we get the whole 0-1.
2-1.
Yeah.
Oh dear, why am I still doing it? What is wrong with me? So, following on from that, we have CPF against the Greedy Souls and Murdoch.
That's right. So, Greedy Souls, as you recall, Brendan White and Danny Jones teaming with Murdoch, taking on the Close Personal Friends, which is Maverick Mayhew, Callum Newman, and Danny Black. This is a 3-on-3 match. Souls and Murdoch enter their own theme. CPF enter to Backstreet's Back.
Nice. I am a fan.
So, naturally, the crowd are singing along. So the match starts off with a fast pace. As you can probably tell, CPF are the faces in this match, whereas Souls and Murdoch are not the faces, they're the heels of the match. More again, similar to the first match, it's a lot of high flying, speed centric maneuvers from one half of the match, whereas the other one was sort of keep it grounded with the ground and pound sort of tag team maneuvers. Meanwhile, Murdoch is just standing there. He's not really getting involved too much. He cost Joe Lando, which is another CPF member, at the first show in the tournament, in the World Title Tournament match he was in, which is why it has caused this whole stir. But despite that, he's not really getting involved too much. He's more just sitting on the outside, and when he gets inside the ring, he's normally handled by someone in CPF, and he gets sent to the outside again or tags out again. So we get a lot of springboard maneuvers, as I've said. But the win actually comes from a cradle. So it's an inside cradle where Murdoch gets the 3 count for his team.
No way. Yeah.
So Greedy Souls got 2 wins in 2 wins over 2 shows.
Nice. Yeah, well, they got that done. I'm assuming you'll fill us in if anything happened after. Or was it just sort of
that was more or less sort of it. There was like they were complaining about the result, and then Murdoch and Souls run off pretty much.
Yeah, fair enough. So that leads into the next match, which is a singles match, which is TK Cooper against Spike Trevay.
That's the one. So to start things off, Trevay enters to a classical piece of music as his theme.
Yeah.
Which, as soon as you hear it, you know the character is snobby. You know it's someone who thinks higher of himself.
So looking at the picture, he looks like a headmaster.
Yes, that is great. Actually, that is a great. That's a great comparison. So to start things off, we get a promo from Spike Trevay who talks about how TK is the Janetti of Sunshine Machine. Where he compares how Chuck is the world champion of Riot Cabaret, how Chuck could have chosen TK to be his first challenger, but he didn't.
Yeah.
How Chuck's voice is the one you hear on the theme of Sunshine Machine, not TK's. How Chuck is a surfer and TK's not. That's relevant because there's beach balls in the venue.
Right.
There's random beach balls just around the venue.
Yeah.
And that's for Chuck, not TK. And they do a lot of this for a bit until he shut up with a headbutt. So TK just proper like that sort of like
just fall and land it.
Yeah. But that gets the match started. The crowd and myself are really behind TK against Spike here. Spike's very much the heel of this encounter. We get a spot on the outside of the ring right by me because I'm literally like an arm's length from the ring.
Yep.
So TK goes for a chop. Again, like similar to the Rev Pro show, but they go for a chop. Spike ducks. And then Spike goes for a chop on TK by the post. And TK ducks. And then Spike stops himself. He's like, ah. And then TK just grabs his hand and slams it into the post.
Originally, when you said they were right by you, and you said he went for the slap and missed, I was going to assume he ducked and hit you.
Can you imagine?
I know, yeah.
I wouldn't even be here to do this review. Like, have you done a chop before from a wrestler? Have you received a chop from a wrestler?
Not from a wrestler, from friends. Yes.
Okay, fine. Yeah, they're not fun.
No.
So yeah, a bit later on we get a spot. So the venue is like the steps leading to the stall area, and then there's like further back to the raw boxes above. So if they go behind us, I can't see much.
Yeah.
So they go behind us, and from what I could tell, Trevay is tied up to a chair in the stalls area,
right.
And then TK runs around, and like it's a whole bunch of momentum going forward from the other side of the stalls to the running towards him with a dropkick, while he's tied up in that chair. We get back to the ring. We get a few more spots here and there with Trevay taking control with the move that I know as the Ron Miller special, which is like a cross-legged leg lock. I don't know if Spike's got a name for it, but that's the move. That's how I associate it with the Robbie Eagles move.
Yeah.
So he goes for that. Everyone is like, "Please don't tap! Please don't tap!" And then TK doesn't tap. He gets to the ropes. Okay. We get a spot a bit later on where I think it was 2 seats down from me. TK puts Spike on his lap, and that's hold the arms, so they can chop him. So he chops Spike, and then I looked at the guy, and the guy's like, so like it's sort of reverbed, I think, through Spike that chop to the guy holding him. Wow. They go back in the ring again. A lot of back and forth again. But eventually, Spike locks in the Ron Miller special again on TK, who's already limping around at this point. And unfortunately, TK taps.
We get a heel winner.
Yeah. And it wasn't even dirty, really.
No, he just beat him clean.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
So, and nothing after this happened, no?
No, nothing else. It was just on to the next match. It was just Spike just bows in the ring to, thunderous boos.
like the demon headmaster. So we move on to the next match, which I believe is the inaugural crowning of the Riot Cabaret Women's Championship between two women that I actually am fans of, Harley Hudson and Nina Samuels.
There you go. So before the match, I mean, like, on the build up to the match, Nina Samuels was not announced for this match. It was Harley Hudson versus question mark.
Right.
So we didn't know until I think it was the day before or the day before that, maybe. That was Nina Samuels, who is, of course, star of the Nina Samuels show. So Harley got this chance by winning the Jukebox Rumble in the first show.
Yep.
So to get things off, we got Harley's the face, Nina is the face question mark.
So it's like a tweener.
Yeah, it wasn't 100% clear.
Yeah.
But Harley was more over one, I should say.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of mat work to start things off. Nina's focused more on strikes and overall confidence in herself and cockiness. So establishing her alignment, I'd say. But Harley is the one with the heart and the support of the people. So she uses that to fire herself up and get combinations in and get moves in. Ultimately not getting the pinfall straight away. So it's still just 2 counts at this point. We get Samuels, who hits a fall-away slam, which gets a 2 count. And she hits a second one with a knee afterwards. And that gets a 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did it go as short as that?
It was longer than I'm making it out to be, absolutely.
Yeah.
But it's just a case of I was more involved in the match and watching the match that I didn't take too many notes.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely fair enough. But both women put on a good show.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it was a worthy title match, basically, because this is the first women's champion. So
yeah, precisely. And honestly, these were 2 women that I can't really think of much, like, men and women who would have been more fitting for the first champion.
Yeah.
You know, like, obviously down the line you could have whoever you want as champion, but
yeah, I saw Harley very early on in her career, around the area where I live. I'm not going to give too much away, but the company doesn't exist anymore.
Okay.
So yeah, Nina Samuels being someone that I'm just a big fan of, and I've seen quite a bit of her work. So yeah, I'm happy that these 2 women got to contest for a world championship in the inaugural world championship match. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It
was definitely a fun way to end the first half of the show off as well.
Right, okay. So yeah, we had a bit of a break and then we came back to, from what you told me before we recorded, is absolute chaos.
Yeah.
So the match was a Cabaret Carnage match, and it had Big Dick Energy, Jerry Bakewell, and Session Moth Martina, and an open mic spot, which basically means anyone from the back can come out and be part of the match.
Precisely.
As the 4th person. Not literally, they can just keep adding themselves as the 4th person.
It's like never-ending...
Yeah. Like a conga of wrestlers coming out just joining the match.
But yeah, as you say, it was absolute chaos, or you could say carnage. This was a 4-way eliminator match, so elimination rules apply. So we start off with Jay Bakewell, who enters first to the Bullseye theme song. If you know it, you know. The
actual like game show.
Yes.
Wow.
So I was getting some food at the stand at the back, and I hear this as I'm about to begin. I hear Bullseye theme song. I'm like, what?
Yeah, expecting to see Bully charging down the back.
Or Jim Bone or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, he comes down. For those of you who don't know, Jay Bakewell has been on Britain's Got Talent, where he is the successful Mexican luchador English guy. But he comes out, he does a comedy skit basically, where he says, every time the crowd laughs, he removes an item of clothing.
Right, okay.
And that can start instantly, like with a laugh, off of the hat. that he's wearing. He tells jokes. It's cheesy jokes.
Yeah.
But they get laughs, and every time that happens, he moves a pair of underwear. He's wearing like, I don't know how many pairs of underwear, but
Yeah.
he's putting like one pair down at a time, and it's just like it seems the pole's never ending of just underwear that he's wearing.
Like when a magician pulls out tissues from his...
Precisely, yeah. So eventually he's doing that, and that ends, and then here comes Martina. You know, the crowd recognise the music. I recognise the music. We all recognise her. You know,
He's so over.
It's very over. Like, as soon as you hear the theme, you know who it is, and you know she comes out to the ring with her. I want to say alcohol-free lager. I don't know. It was one of those brands, you know, like the more modern day brands.
Yeah.
Like you know, like a craft beer or something like that. But
yeah.
Anyway, she comes out one of those. She's dancing already. She's having a good time, having a rave time. Comes down to the ring. You know, like she's there with Jerry. You know, she's dancing in the ring. You know, with her drink in hand, and yeah, it's just a good time, and she's having fun. She goes around the crowd a little bit, and then to get back in the ring, there Jerry again. You know, both dancing a little bit, and then here comes this sound of metal music, like this really like this heavy metal, not heavy metal, heavy music. Sorry, and we're like, okay, well that's not Martina, is it?
No.
Yeah. So this is. I assumed that this was Big Day Energy, but it wasn't. It was the open mic spot. So this is answered by Sky Smithson. If you might know her, she wrestles a lot on the British UK scene. Very serious, very much professional wrestler-esque person. Right. Yeah, doesn't have time for the gimmicks.
So is in this match.
Pretty much, yeah. So she comes out, basically says that she's had enough of the joking, enough of the gimmicks, enough of the dancing, enough of the jokes. She's here to be a professional wrestler. She's here because she wants to bring actual wrestling to this match. She then goes on to say that the next person who comes out here and tries comedy or gimmick or anything like that is a dead man walking. And then you probably guess what happens next.
Yeah. Does that actually happen?
We get a bong.
Yeah. Wow.
So this is the full-on music as well. So I don't know.
His old style one.
Yeah.
Or like the actual like.
You know the actual one that we know of.
Yeah, where it goes dead man.
Not that one. No, the actual dead man music.
Oh, that would have been so much better.
I agree personally, but it was the old one, and outcome is I'm trying to describe this because I wrote it in my notes as well, but a cosplay of Paul Bearer and Undertaker.
Did you send me the picture of this, or have I seen it somewhere?
You might have seen it somewhere. I can't recall if I sent it or not.
It must have been on Twitter. It must have been. I have seen this cosplay.
Yeah. So Paul Bearer, one half of Big Day Energy, and Taker, the other half of Big Day Energy. They come out. He's got an urn and everything. You know, they do the really slow walk.
Yeah.
As well.
They do the intro.
Yeah. Paul Bearer. I don't know the names, so I'm gonna say that as a character names.
Yeah.
Paul Bearer gets in the ring with his urn, and he does the whole like, oh, sort of like, and then in what is the oddest thing I've ever seen live, it breaks into a dance break where Paul Bearer is dancing to "Bad Romance" by Lady Gaga.
Right. Okay.
And Paul Bearer is doing a striptease. I'm not joking.
Wow.
So we've got a literal Paul Bearer, cabaret, acting, burlesque, striptease, where he removes his tie, his jacket, his shirt, but eventually gets to the point where I think he was just in pants.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. And then afterwards, take us finding at the ring.
Yeah.
Taker gets in the ring. Sky instantly goes for Taker.
Right.
And Bear runs away, essentially. So we get the 4-way eliminator has officially started, I guess. Sky eliminates Taker. Sky eliminates Bakewell. And then we get Martina and Sky at the last 2 of the match. Martina is scared of Sky. She's in the crowd at this point, like hiding. And Sky stays in the ring, but Martina's like, okay, you know what? I've got to build the energy. I've got to build the courage. I'm going to fight her. Gets in the ring, punches her. Sky doesn't feel a thing. So Martina's like, oh, okay, yeah. So Sky is beating her up a little bit, like with chin stretches, chin locks, just general submissions. Martina is reaching towards her beer can, which you can see like at the edge of the ring.
Yeah.
She's like, I need the beer, I need the power. What's she getting stretched out by Sky?
Yeah.
And then at this point, the lights dimmer a little bit, and you hear the you hear the Paul Bearer again. So he's back, clothed this time, yeah, but he's got his urn. I guess the ringside, gets on the apron. Sky grabs him, which causes the urn to fly out of his hands.
Yeah.
Inside the urn is special, how do I say it? White ashes.
Right.
Which happened to fall on Martina, and Martina seems to have inhaled some of the ashes, and she's gone hyper.
Right.
So you can guess what the implication is there.
Yeah.
So she's all fired up now, and these ashes enable her to power up, essentially, so like Mario style. And Martina actually gets the pin on Sky.
Of course she does.
So Martina is the winner of your Cabaret Carnage 4-way eliminator / striptease / burlesque / comedy skit / rave pie
/ madness.
Yes.
Wow. Well, that sounds like a lot.
Mm-hmm. This is what I was saying when I said off camera, like when I said to you, like this was a whole lot of something.
Yeah. And, a woman who I actually know and like has won the match as well, which is good.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I recommend if they upload this, check it out. Even if you're not a fan of the comedy side of wrestling, check it out. It's got a bit of everything.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, definitely. You'll have to keep an eye on that and let me know if it does come out. So. But we move on to Kelly Van Ness and Livy Grace.
Yes. So Livy Grace enters immediately. This is a no things given entrance. She just enters, doesn't pay attention to anything, and just screams, and then just enters the ring. That's pretty much it. Kelly Van Ness comes out to... I couldn't hear the theme, but it sounded like it was based on something to do with Loch Ness Monster.
Right, okay.
It sounded like a kids' TV show theme. I don't know how else to describe it. So I don't know much about her. I think she might be Scottish.
Yeah, I think it seems there's a high likelihood that Kelly Van Ness might be Scottish. On
to the match itself. This is a big versus small match. Picture your Big Show Rey Mysterio sort of match. This is Livy Grace and Kenny Van Ness. So Livy is a much bigger individual.
Right, okay.
Compared to Kelly. So Livy is a beast, is what I've written here. Yeah. Strong strikes, basically. A lot of strong strikes, stomps, kicks, holds, etc. Kelly doesn't get much in terms of offense, but she does have a hope spot where she goes for a springboard in the corner. So she goes onto the first rope, second rope, slips.
Yep.
Off the second rope.
Of course.
So I don't know what that was, but ultimately it led to Livy winning with a spinning lariat off of that slip. So I don't know if that was
planned.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or sort of off the cuff. I think so. For it to lead directly to the finish, it must have been planned.
I think so as well. It looked a bit too clean, I think.
Yeah.
Because she landed safely as well, and it didn't seem like she was hurt. So.
Yeah, because if it's a botch, you can tell because they don't land properly or anything like that. And she seemed to be okay.
Or if it was completely unplanned, she's a bloody good professional.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, it was a squash match pretty much, but it did serve a purpose after the carnage before it.
Yeah, exactly. You just needed to bring a bit of normality back to the room because we were heading into then the main event, which was for the Riot Cabaret World Championship and also Chuck Mambo's first defence, which was against Dan Maloney, who we saw earlier in the show. In the opening segment, building it up a little bit because unlike a lot of big companies, they don't have TV to build these matches, so the sensible thing to do is build your main event in the opening segment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, we move on to Chuck Mambo against Dan Maloney.
Yes. So we move on to the main event, which is a battle between two factions or two groups that are generally well liked among the UK scene. You have Sunshine Machine being Mambo and TK, and you have Dan Maloney who's representing the 0121. I've got here is both men are liked by the crowd. They really are. Like, there's a lot of split crowds, but it's not like a let's go Mambo sucks. It's a let's go Mambo Dan Maloney.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not like to either man. So we get things instantly started off with Dan Maloney destroying Chuck with spears, several suplexes, signature moves, including the Driller, which is his gory special transition to a pile finisher. And I thought, holy, really? 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Like 1, 2, kick out.
Yeah.
And I thought,
at least he'd not done your Punk and Moxley.
So we get a few more spots a bit later in the match. We get Chuck's fighters back into it at this point, and we get a spot where he goes for a rope assisted sort of like arm drag. So like he jumps into the ropes, arm drag. But it was on the outside, so he didn't use the ropes, he used the actual barricade of the venue.
Right.
So there's a lot of that. They go like, the inside and the outside of the ring. We get a few top rope moves from Chuck on Dan. Dan comes back with kicks and strikes. We get more strikes from Chuck. We get top rope moves from both men. We get Dan who attempts another Driller, which is countered into a facebuster sort of move. Chuck goes for a top rope frog splash, which is a 2 count. Then he goes for his finisher, the springboard frog splash, which gets a 3 count. So it wasn't a short match. It was just again me more invested in the match than actually taking notes.
It's like what you find when you first time you go to a show, you're just trying to get familiar with what talent's on the show, and just getting invested in what they're actually doing and the stories that they're telling, rather than you paid to go and watch a brand new show you've never been to. You don't want to be sat there just taking notes.
Precisely.
So it sounded like a very solid show, and like something you're going to probably revisit.
Yeah, absolutely. I've already booked tickets for the next one.
Oh, nice. So when is the next show?
I believe it's October 18th.
Nice.
I believe. I might have to confirm that and write the date up there somewhere.
Yeah, we can do that in the post-edit, but it will be above us.
Yes.
And we will make sure we get a review of that show out as well.
Absolutely. But before we move on, the post-match stuff, to end the show off.
Yeah.
So we get arguments between Derice and TK, respective partners of groups.
Yeah.
That then leads to them fighting, which leads to more fighting. Tate Mayfair's comes out, attacks Dan Maloney. Everyone at this point is getting involved with each other, and out comes Greedy Souls and Murdoch. Was it Murdoch? No, just Greedy Souls.
Yeah, well,
just Greedy Souls. who come out and they start getting involved in all the nonsense and all the carnage going on, and then out comes CPF, who also get involved in all the carnage, and then out comes A. Dennis,
Right.
who's just here as well. He comes out, he's partying. So then you get Tate on the outside. He's completely separated from all this.
Yeah,
he's not getting involved. But when Eddie comes out, he's like, "Oh yeah, Eddie Dennis, yeah." And then Eddie Dennis just throws him into the crowd, into the pile. Sorry, of people on the other side of the ring. So literally, it is like a sort of razor's edge sort of move, and throws him over the ropes into the pile of people.
Right.
And it's then revealed that the next show, there's been a women's champion, we've got a world champion for the men. It's time we crown tag champions. So the next show is going to see, I believe, a 4-way tag match, which is going to be CPF, Greedy Souls, Sunshine Machine. Oh, sorry, 5-way. The 0121 and Aiden as an unnamed partner.
Right.
Which people are saying it could be Mark Andrews to reconnect FSU.
Yeah. So just an early prediction on that. Don't think the Sunshine Machine are going to win.
No, I don't either. I think I think it's a safe bet to rule out Sunshine Machine and Greedy Souls.
Yeah.
I'm going for 0121 to win that match.
I think it might just give it Eddie Dennis.
But another thing I'm thinking of, it could be Tate Mayfair's, because he's getting involved in something. So I think he might get involved somehow with his own partner, if he finds one. Murdoch, I don't know.
Well, we'll find out on October the 18th. Well, you will. The rest of us who haven't been to the show and are waiting on this review, we'll find out not so long after.
Mm-hmm.
But as always, DP, thank you again for reviewing all the matches from the show that you attended. Riot Cabaret seemed to be hitting a decent enough stride from the first two shows, so it's made enough for you to want to go back.
Absolutely.
So shout out to Riot Cabaret and all of the talent on that show. Well done for putting on another good show. But that wraps up our fourth review. So we will keep these coming as we attend the shows. Join the Discord, which will be in the link below. Follow us on social media at the HCW Show. There is individual Twitter handles for us guys on every video. So no matter who's in, we will have them up and you can give us all a follow. And just make sure you're liking and you're subscribing. We appreciate everything you do to support, and make sure you comment if there's stuff you do like and don't like, stuff you want to see. Keep it coming because we have got a lot of content coming up. But from myself, Frozzy, and from DP, it'll be goodbye until next time.